Hey, you guys, welcome to one of my favorite days of the week, Vocal Tip Tuesday. I try to do some type of tip on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you enjoy this tip today, please tune in again next Tuesday to enjoy another tip. Sometimes they're mom tips, sometimes they're vocalist tips, sometimes they're just health and fitness tips. So join me each Tuesday at 1:30. My name is Melissa McLam, and today's topic is all about how to be performance ready for an event that you've been asked to either speak, sing, or teach at. So prior to being a stay-at-home mom, I have a degree in music education, have worked with children for the last 20 plus years in some capacity, all the way from preschool, all the way up through high school students. I taught in the public school system for 7 years as an elementary music specialist. I've taught preschool music. I have taught vocal performance lessons, being a vocal coach. I have founded and directed a girls' vocal ministry that was an auditioned group that traveled all over the state of North Carolina. So I feel like I know just a little bit about this topic. Oh, and in addition, I was on the road myself for about 3 years, on and off. So this is going to be information today that is going to be hopefully helpful to you, especially if you are just starting out as a speaker or as a vocalist or as a teacher where you teach workshops or trainings or whatever the case may be. This hopefully will be valuable information for you, because when you first start doing this by yourself, you don't think about a lot of these things. And so I hope these tips will be helpful. I just have 3 tips for you today. Actually 4 tips today. And these are things that I have found to be very helpful over my years of performing or teaching. I don't really speak very often. I leave the speaking to my husband. But the first tip that I have found to be very helpful is to eat well in advance of the event. So many times, even if I was just directing a group of girls in singing, because I was going to have to get them warmed up, or I might have to jump in the sound check and nerves take over as well, I would not eat at the actual event right before we sang. Or if I get up to lead in worship, I'm very picky about what I eat before I get up to lead in worship on a Sunday morning. If I'm going to eat, I eat well in advance of when I'm supposed to sing. So at least an hour, if not before then. And I always pick something that is extremely healthy, something that's whole food, and something that is full of protein. It's going to give me a little bit of sugar, so it's a good carb. It's going to give me a little bit of sugar, but it's not going to spike my sugar because I don't want to crash after I have it. So for me, I have like a superfood shake usually before I go, or some type of maybe like a protein bowl, but usually my superfood shake that I drink before I go to an event, and that helps kind of curb my appetite. It keeps my stomach from growling while I'm trying to breathe, because if you're breathing properly, you're going to be pushing down on the stomach, and then that causes your stomach to growl. You don't want that to happen while you're up singing or speaking. So that's tip number 1, is to eat well in advance of your singing and eat something with high protein. Tip number 2 is, at the function, don't feel like you have to eat right then with everybody else. Oftentimes, speakers and singers and teachers, now this doesn't occur when you're doing worship on Sunday morning, but other events like a banquet or a fundraising dinner or whatever the case may be, you are in a group of people who are eating. And they get to enjoy eating because they're not getting up to sing and speak. For you, it's okay to ask the server for a food cover to cover your food to keep it warm. I sang back in the fall for an event, and my friend and I that were singing together, that was the first thing we did when they brought us the plates, is we asked for a food cover to put over our food so it would stay nice and warm until we were done singing. Or you can just ask them when they bring the food. If they don't have food covers, you can say, could you keep my plate warm until I am finished speaking or singing, and then I will enjoy my food. They are more than happy to do that, you guys. So that's tip number 2, is don't feel like you have to eat right then. If that's not an option for them to keep your food warm or for them to cover your food, you can cover it right there at the table. Then my third tip is eat lightly then. Pick one thing on your plate and just nibble at it just a little bit, because the last thing you want to do, you guys, is cause yourself to get gas or indigestion or any of those things before you get up to speak or sing. So eat lightly. And the last tip is don't overeat. Whatever you do, don't decide, okay, I'm just going to not eat the dessert. I'm just going to eat the main course, and then I'll come back and eat my dessert later. No, don't eat all of that food before you get up to sing or speak or teach, because what's going to happen is you can cause acid reflux to take place, which I experience a lot of or have over the last few years. Actually, more than a few years, more like 10 years until recently, when it's kind of healed itself based on what I am doing in my own nutrition. But that acid reflux will cause the digestive system to be restricted, and then your breathing is not going to be supported because your digestive system is trying to work with all that food in your gut. And you're going to have a lot of yucky things happening in your body. So you want to be very careful that you don't overeat before you sing, speak, or teach. All right, so those are my 4 tips today. This video will be here on Facebook. Please feel free to share it with others that might just be starting in the whole realm of speaking and singing and teaching and doing trainings and those types of things, because these are real life situations. When you go in to do these events, like I said just a few minutes ago, you're going to be in a situation where people are eating. And so you have to plan in advance for how you're going to handle that. And here's kind of a bonus tip. Just drink a big glass of water before you go up to sing or speak or teach, because that at least curbs your craving for actual food, because sometimes we're just dehydrated and you're going to need extra hydration while you're singing and speaking because you want those cords to stay lubricated. So just drink a big glass of water and save all the delicious food for when you're completely done and you can actually enjoy it. So feel free to save this, share it. It will also be up on my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like this page, because I want to be able to get to know you better and what your needs are as a speaker, a singer, a teacher, a worship leader. So if this is helpful for you at all, would you please drop me a comment below this video and let me know that this was helpful for you today. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and thanks for tuning in.